but I'm nervous. I definitely am nervous. And I'm late. So I'm about 2 minutes out from my recruiters, and I'm okay with my decision, but I'm nervous. I definitely am nervous, and I'm late. So I'll let you guys know how it goes. I'm a little scared that he's gonna try and convince me out of my initial decision of just going straight forward with the waiver and try to convince me not to say anything. But hopefully I'm able to stand my ground and kind of just stick to my guns. And we'll see how it goes. So I will talk to y'all later. Bye. So I finally finished running all my errands. I can finally sit down and talk about what happened at the recruiters. So I thought I was late. And I wasn't late. I was actually extremely early. Or extremely late. One of those two. My recruiter wasn't even there. Apparently he thought it was like last week, or... The thing is, he called me last week and he said, hey, can we meet up? And I said, sure. And he said, all right, Thursday, 10:30. And I'm like, okay, next Thursday, 10:30? And I guess that's where we both got mixed up. And I had to wait for him to get there, but it was about an hour and a half before he ended up getting there, which is my bad and his bad too, I guess. But while waiting for him, there was a female recruiter that had looked at my scars the first time. She came and talked to me, and she was like, hey, so what are you gonna do? Like, have you decided what you want to do? And I said, yeah, I'm gonna go with it truthfully. You know, I'm gonna send in my waiver and we'll see what happens. And she was like, all right, and like walked out. And I was like, okay. And then later on, another female recruiter came up and said, hey, I'm gonna get you started on this questionnaire, and it's gonna take a minute or two because it's about 140 questions. And in my head I went, ooh, that's a lot of questions. I thought I was gonna have to do it all, but honestly, she just went through it. She just read through the whole thing, and it was like every kind of medical question you could think of, from have you ever broken a bone, to do you have glaucoma, to do you smoke drugs, or have you ever done drugs? Smoke drugs. And I answered no to everything except the self-harm scars. So she marked it down as yes, and she I guess she didn't know about my situation, because she said, okay, well, you're gonna have to talk to your recruiter about it. And I was like, okay. One thing for females that they do ask you is they ask you if you've ever had a pap smear. And I never really thought they would ask you that, but they did. They asked me that. They asked me first day of your last menstrual cycle and stuff like that. So be prepared to answer those questions, my lovely ladies out there. But other than that, we were about more than halfway through with the questionnaire, and then my recruiter comes in and he finishes it with me, asks me the same question, hey, what are we gonna do? So I said, well, you know, let's just put in a waiver. Let's do this. I want to go in truthfully, because I don't want to, you know, pretend that they're not what they really are, and then I get caught later, and there's no one going to be there to protect my butt other than myself. Like, my recruiter is going to be back home, you know, doing his job, and he can't go out there and be like, oh, well, you know, not that he recommended it, but, you know. So I said, no, I'd rather just cover my own butt and go at this, honestly, to cover my own butt and just to, you know, do things the right way. And he was like, okay. So he printed out this form, and I had to just say how I got the self-harm scars, when I did them, and then at the end I wrote how it doesn't affect me anymore. So I just wrote, it was a paragraph. You don't have to write like an essay or anything like that. I wrote a paragraph, and then he signed it, I signed it, and then he said, okay, so this is what happens now. I'm going to submit it, and now we wait. So now we're waiting to see if the waiver gets approved or not. If it gets approved, then that's when all the paperwork starts happening and I get to move on forward. And if it gets declined, then that's pretty much it for that. So, I mean, I can always try again. I can always go maybe to another branch, but I'm going to try. One thing that I did not know is that if this happens to you, you can't go to MEPS. There's no point in you going to MEPS, because not only you'll be wasting your time, but you'll be wasting the time of the doctors. You know, you get through everything and then you say, oh, I have scars. Oh, okay, declined. You know, you don't even have a waiver yet. So my recruiter said it's just better to put in your waiver and just wait. And he said it's going to take a couple months. So what I'm going to be doing right now is just training, studying more for the ASVAB, and praying and hoping that I get in. So yeah, it sucks not knowing what's going to happen. It does. I honestly rather get news quickly than having to wait for it, but I told myself that quick news is probably bad news, so I'd rather be patient and basically mentally preparing myself just in case I get a big fat no. So it's not disappointing. It's a little nerve-wracking. I feel like I'm nervous all the time now, but I'm really just gonna focus on getting fit enough to go to boot camp if it all ends up going through. And if it doesn't, then, you know, and I do it for myself, I'm healthy. So that's pretty much it. That's what happened today, and I'll keep you guys updated with what happens. And when I get the news, I'll do that. So that's it, and I'll see you guys later. Thanks for following and being patient with my rants, but I'll talk to you guys later. So bye. I really do not like waiting. I don't like waiting. Why? Anyway, should probably keep my eyes on the road. Oh, that's why. It's a green light. So, talk to y'all laters.